Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First of all, allow me to thank Madame Valérie Mathion and all Collège of France for inviting me for this interesting conference. I will highlight in this paper on the new evidence on the sanctuary in the Court 3 of building recently discovered in the area of Rempart. This paper consists of two sections. The first sections will speak about the locations of area of Rempart and its importance, and also the great building. The second sections I will discuss the Court 3 and its annex and object of the court, and at the end, the conclusions. The excavation at the Rempart area had started in 2005 up now. It is located on the southwestern side. Some of our objective is to investigate the city wall in this area, to check if there's any building on the wall. During the season, we are able to investigate all the goals, starting from the Rempart to discovering a great building. The building is exactly built on the top of the walls of Rempart, and its importance is coming from its proximity to Royal Palace and to Yabnanu House, and also in addition to its location to Royal Street, just this red one. Moreover, its geographical view, which is overlooking to the sea and the harbor Mint al-Bayda. This great building is occupy an area about 1,375 meters square, oriented north-south and take rectangular shape. All its limits are recovered, except its western side, because it's cut by Hellenistic levels and modern activities. The building has two entrances. The first one in the northeast is the main entrance and exactly open to the Royal Street or to the street, wide 5 meters with two base columns and with two pillar cut stones. The second one is a small one here to the south. It's open also to the street. The building consists of three courtyards, 33 rooms, and 3 staircases and 2 tombs. The stratigraphic sequence, this building says we have 7 levels, starting from late Islamic, presented by symmetry, and Mamluk, Byzantine, late Roman, late Hellenistic, and late Bronze Age and Middle Bronze Age. Court 3, the work has taken about 4 seasons to finish, and still some point not recovery. The court is located on the north of the house. It's a larger court, around 110 meters square. The court opened to several rooms from each side. Its western side has 3 doors. And there's, as you see, there's 2 stairs going to next rooms. And there also 2 north, 2 doors to open to northern side, and 1 to south, or to domestic. It's a small door. I call it domestic house or domestic door. The construction material used in this court, for example, starting from they use the cut stone to form the door or heads of the wall. Often there's a pillar, and the rest of the wall is unshaped stones. And they use plaster to cover the walls. And also they use wood inside the wall. Some traces of wood still exist, something like here. The measurement of wall, the width of wall in the whole building is 80 centimeters, while here in this court it's become larger and become 1 meter, and to preserve around 1 meter high. The floors, there are 2 different types of floor. We have bubble stones, something like here, just in this place. And another kind of or type of floor is mixed with small bubble, shields, and lime. This one is destroyed. We have just the traces of this floor. Detail and elements of court. We have altar, stela, dran and channels, and tomb. We'll speak about each one. The altar is located on the southeast of the court. It's take a rectangular vertical stone, high around 1 meter. It's cut from its top. Near it, we found animal bones and many different objects and pottery. And here we recognize it a small plate with burnt and with fires. Perhaps it's used for incense. The same type of this altar we found, it's found by Claude Cheever in 1933. And this type of altar is well known in the sites, in all sites of Eastern Mediterranean, and especially in the south, in Lebanon and Palestine. The stela, its location in the middle, just here, and it's just 3 meters far from the altar. Like this, depicting Baal standing with 2 personages, perhaps king and priest, on platform or mastaba. Baal give or take something from 2 persons, like wheat spake or grasses, something like here. On other hand, there is size here. This symbol is very unique because this symbol is symbol of agriculture and should belong to Dagon. And here I'm wondering if there's any text explain if Dagon give his career or function to his son Baal. If someone of you know about this text, I wish if he can help me. This sense give the impressions of related to agriculture. For that, I would like, if it is possible, to name this stela Baal teaching agriculture. These impressions for me, it's with big question marks. Maybe yes, maybe no. Dran and the channels. A dran with the slab cover stone connected with the channel past the court out the house. Inside it, we recover many small plates and bronze and olives of seeds. Mastaba, it's a small mastaba or platform. There's just in the southeast of the just here. It's long 1 meter and high 40 centimeters. Here, the tomb. On the middle of this side, on the northern side, there is a bit of tomb for adult. It's very rare and it's very strange. And there's the first time at Ras Shamra we found a peat tomb on later Bronze Age. Here we recognize the head, it's just here. On the north, it's northeast to southeast. One ball of here, it's just base ring 1, and we date it to later Bronze Age 2. Here we have these questions. Why this tomb is built here? Is there any connection between this tomb and the activity of the courts? To understand also well the court, we have to see the annex of the court. So starting from western annex to see western and the northern annex and the southern annex. The western annex, its altitude is higher of the court around 30 centimeters. As we said before, there is 3 entrances. I will concentrate it here just for this here, which has 2 step stairs, as you see here, and 1 base columns. This base column also is very rare at Ras Shamra. This complex is very difficult because it's completely damaged by the cemetery, the Islamic cemetery. So it was very hard to deduct it, everything. But we can distinguish 2 phases. For the phase 1, it belongs to Middle Bronze Age 2, end of Middle Bronze Age 2, and beginning of Later Bronze Age 1. These structures, starting from the facade, according to 2 pillars here, stone which usually indicated to open door, and also the base column, we have just 1, and that's meaning there's another columns. The plan of this phase is something like this. I do it, but just to have an idea how it was it. So we have the plan with the closed room with 2 base columns and 2 stairs. And some pottery belong to the end of Middle Bronze Age, Middle Bronze Age 2, and beginning of Later Bronze Age 1. For the phase 2, in the later phase, the plan had modified it and have a small room or small space. They built these 2 walls to have this, something like this, a small space, and we don't have to see the second columns. The door become, as you see here, become narrow by building this small wall connected with another walls to have this space, a small space. And there's also base column, put it just on the door. And here we notice changing on functioning of the stairs. The stair here is not becomes just stairs. It's become something like a platform or mastaba, because they continue these stairs to build these stairs with unshaped stones, but this in the same levels to have a mastaba on all the western walls. As you see here. The northern annex There is a corridor consists of two rooms in one axe, north and south. The first room is the main entrance of the building, as we see before, with two columns and two pillars. The walls are become wider, around 1 meter. The axe to court, starting from the main entrance, has bent axe and something like L-shaped. The two rooms are opening to each other, characterized by wide door and two pillar cut stones for the doors. On the front of entrance and exactly on the northwest of the corner, there is a mastaba of high 40 centimeters. The most important things that we found very heavy craft local stones just here, and with square hole deep 10 centimeter. The other side there is a traces of unfinished work like a circle. We think perhaps it's unfinished answer. On the other side of the northern, just here in the north side, in the room 19, there's a room open directly to the court. In the first, and there is here a water wheel, served also to the court. Here we can recognize it also two faces of this room. The first phase, this room was corridor leading to another room. The plan is rectangular shape, wide door, and wide walls. In the second phase, the door here is closed, as you see in the green, and it's very interesting here because we found two cylinder steel with inscriptions. It's Ugaritian inscriptions, or if someone can study, I will be very happy. And I wish if we can have any informations about buildings, the name of the owner of this building could be interesting. The southern annex, or the private, we can call it a private or domestic wing. This is here is a narrow door open to domestic wing. The door is open just to corridors and leading to, there's go to upstairs. The object of the court or votive offering. The object was recovered just near the altars on the southern sides. We see we have a bronze object, some armor plates and arrowheads. And ivory, we have a splendid ivory hand-shaped object with and hollowed inside for fixing it horizontal and perhaps to put some object on it. One similar to this object is recovered at Lagash. This object is usually considered as a symbol of offering, dating to later Bronze Age 2 and 3. And there's also two pieces of stick unknown its function. One remarkable artifact is found just down the hands. This object is very bad preserved and it needs some restoration and cleaning, but we can recognize or notice something. We see it's very worked in high relief. It has square shape and it's engraved in two faces. If we start from the first one, the big one, we can see the first one depicting griffin and winged ball, while the other pieces, as you see here, there's three griffin, and the frame is with row of flowers. We see these decorations is combine Oriental influence and Western impact in Cyprus. It's undefended objects, but it's inspired us in the object from Cyprus, something like hand of mirror. Just the frame of this object is very similar to these objects. If anyone have any comparison to it, could be very interesting if you can help us. The stone object, there's jewelry mold with two figures, one represented fish and the other flowers, and also some fragments of dish and basalts and weights and millstones and some alpasters with base support. Some cylinders still also we found. The first one is depicting Baal, hold lighting, and behind him there's a winged ball. Here Baal appears as his original characteristic, god of weather, lighting, and rain, unlike the scenes of Stella. The second one is two warriors. The third is just a pit with fish decorations. The pottery, we have very interesting jug, was just near the altar, not just near on the feet of the altars. It's very similar to the ceremony jug of El, and I think it's the same. I think we can call it also ceremony jug, because it's the same shape. As it's not the same decorations, but I think the same importance. There's also Kenani jars, with all is incomplete, but we can count it around 15 incomplete jars, all broken, and some plates and bowls, and some also imported pottery, Cyprus and Messenian. We can indicate it here. The Cyprus one is higher than Messenian here in this court. Different objects, blue with black, tar or bitumen is, I think it's used for inlay. It's very rare, and I don't have any comparison, even in Ras Shamra. I don't know if there's something like this. And another faience beads and fragments of gold. In conclusions, this courtyard had offered a new architectural type of sanctuary during the end of Middle Bronze Age and continued during later Bronze Age from one hand, and the natural votive offering from other hands. Here we are sure that the existing of altar and stela and also the remaining of artifact near the altar, such as the ceremonial jug, should be probably interpreted as evidence of ritual ceremony. As we see also, the construction planet of the annex had modified it. They closed some room and perhaps changing in their function, but it is very important to take into consideration the way of entering the court with bent axe absorbs the enlargement, and the width of doors was referred to 2 points. The first is the greatness and reference for the place. Second is easy movement for enter and exit, and perhaps how many people enter and exit, perhaps worshipper. This court also offers many questions for all scholars. For instance, the tomb pit is connecting to any ritual actions. We have many questions. We don't know exactly the ceremony, if detected to Baal or not, but depicting Baal on stela or on cylinder seal and discovering answer make us believe that perhaps this ritual is detected to Baal. As we know, the religion text referred to many temples and sanctuaries in the city of Ugarit, but still unknown their locations except the temple of Baal and Dagon and Hori temples and the sanctuary of Riton in the center of the city. And now we have a new sanctuary inside the domestic building. I think, and I believe also in each house or in each building of the Ugarit city should be a place or a court special for ceremony, for sacrifice, for examples. If it is possible also to make some reflections on the modern life and divinity, the tradition of people on the coastal Syria in general, and particularly on Latakia village, we can see that some religion activities had done in the court of the houses, use sacrifice, and there is a special tool, for example, knife and cooking pot, are sacred and it's forbidden to use it in ordinary day. And in 1933, Claude Chivers had wrote an article, A Secret from Syrian Hills. He described a secret ceremony at Ibn Hani and speak about the court where all gathered in it. And I think he succeed in these comparisons, and he make a sense for all research. This tradition is very similar to the culture of Ougarit, and I am believe the present is the mirror of the past. Thank you for your attention.